Our time has come. For 300 years, we prepared. We grew stronger. While you rested in your cradle of power, believing your people were safe. Finally, we have returned.
Invincible Season 2 Episode 2 is here, and once again I am late, but better late than never. So, Episode 2. Episode 2 feels like a mad dash to get everything and anything that was a loose hanging thread out of the way before we get to the good stuff. If Episode 1 was the perfect reintroduction to the world of Invincible, Episode 2 is clearing plot lines that would have gone nowhere while setting up future stories that will become reoccurring. The episode starts with Mark almost missing his graduation. Oh, wait a minute, wrong clip, that's from Spider-Man. What is it with superheroes and almost missing important events? I mean, I get in Spider-Man where he's the only hero, but I mean, Cecil has a whole department dedicated to taking on threats. We even saw Omni-Man demonstrate that in Season 1 where he refused to fight a dragon because Cecil could handle it. So Mark almost misses his graduation fighting Doc, Seismic, and his Magma Men, which Debbie rightfully points out to Cecil was unfair. Doc Seismic is a human with high-tech bracelets. Mark beat him with a sneak attack. All Cecil would need is for someone to take a headshot and problem solve. But Mark makes it in time and he and his friends graduate and proceed to go to Eve's treehouse to celebrate, with Eve making them beer. But Mark does not drink because he is always on call, which his friends mention that he is always on call and seems to only be listening to Cecil. We then catch up with the astronauts that visited Mars in Season 1, and they seem to be debating how to handle the Martians, with them almost executing them because they were afraid of the Sequids gaining a host and invading. I can't help but wonder how they didn't notice that one of their friends seems off after their adventure. I mean, everyone seems to be chalking it up to the trauma of almost being executed by aliens, but I'm pretty sure that when someone refers to a bathroom as a urination chamber, someone has to mention that there seems to be an imposter among us. But instead, our Martian Livingston is fired for his unusual behavior. But after learning about Martian Man, he decides to become a superhero by the name of Shapesmith, while the real Livingston has been infested with Sequids and is on his way to invade Earth after defeating the Martians. The Sequids are a weird enemy where all the times the heroes beat them, they always miss one that ends up just doing another invasion. This episode also has us catching up with Eve, and her attempts to help people without being a superhero. But unfortunately, this episode has her learning the lesson that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, with her trying to use her powers to shorten construction time for the rebuilding of a city Mark and his father destroyed. But unfortunately, she causes more harm than help when a park she created in an empty lot is destroyed due to the ground being unstable. Speaking of unstable, Eve's relationship with her parents continues to worsen, with her father losing his job and refusing her help either out of pride or prejudice because he believes her powers to be dangerous. Debbie, after keeping everything together to the best of her ability, finally breaks down in this episode with the broken cupboard door being the straw that broke the camel's back. After trying to go back to work and seeing herself reflected in a couple that was trying to buy a house. We're then shown the Guardians of the Globe being run ragged by the Immortal, who is retraining the team to get back in the field after they were benched last episode. This will come to fruition with Cecil using them to defeat the Lizard League later in the episode. But for now, Rex learns what goes around comes around, with Duplicate cheating on him with the Immortal, while claiming they were never in a relationship. Side note, this makes me wonder how Duplicate's powers work. I mean, if one of the copies could feel what was happening in another room, does that mean they feel every time a copy gets killed or horribly disfigured? Because they get killed a lot in fights. But back to the episode. We see Mark continuing to work for Cecil. He is sent to Midnight City to investigate reports of Darkwing still being alive. We find out that this is Darkwing's sidekick who has taken up the mantle, but he is far more brutal, and Mark taps into a much darker side of himself to intimidate Darkwing to release him from the Shadow Realm. But Mark demonstrates that he is not like his father after failing to have lunch with his girlfriend and being sent to Atlantis to answer for his father's crimes. Mark chooses to save the people who were trying to kill him, proving himself to be a real hero, but he may have unknowingly revealed a weakness to Cecil, who intends to capitalize on any advantage against Viltrumites. This may prove to be a double-edged sword, with Angstrom Levy searching the multiverse for ways to defeat Invincible. But overall, it was a good episode. Please like and subscribe.